This is Solo P1. Welcome to F1 race weekend review. We've just had the USA Grand Prix. Absolutely amazing weekend. Started with controversy, which we'll get into in a minute. But I'm joined with Mike Coke, who's my partner in crime. He is Toto. Ara! How's it going, bro?
Yeah, it's going good. Going good, man. Enjoyed the race. Didn't really enjoy the race as a whole, but I think the qualifying was good. I think the sprint race had a lot of action to it as well. Plus, it was on at funny times. But yeah, I I like the qualifying, not the race. To me, I think the race is boring. But yeah, overall
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so what we're going to do, yeah? We're going to talk about the weekend. But let's start off with the controversy, what started the weekend. That was the ride height with Max Verstappen, the car saying, Red Bull cheating again, up to the old tricks again. We had Zach Bryan. He was the biggest cheerleader of the situation regarding the ride height of the Red Bull car, saying he's not legal. We had the FIA investigating during sessions, actual FIA there in front of the camera so the whole world could see them looking in Red Bull's car. You saw Red Bull sealing it, and then Zach Brown was complaining, saying, "Look, if there's nothing wrong with it, why are they sealing it? Because once you seal it, obviously you can't change it." The big what it was is there was a button inside of Max Verstappen's car which could activate the ride height. Now, in hindsight, that's not really legal because at the end of the day, I think that button was supposed to be underneath the car, which we'll go into more in the debrief down the road. But what was your thoughts on this controversy about the button being in Max Verstappen's car, and should it have been in Max Verstappen's car? And I think, look, the 4 weeks we had off, obviously other teams can tinker with the car. It's not like the summer break, where the summer break you can't the garages after not allowed to go into the garages. But regarding this one with the 4 weeks off, you can do what you want. What was your thoughts on this when you heard this about Red Bull potentially cheating?
I thought straight back to the DAS system. I don't know if it was for you, Solo, but I
Yeah,
thought it
I
was a
remember.
flaw with the DAS system. Because that system where you can change. I think it's suspension. You can move the car up and
Yeah,
down,
yeah,
something
yeah,
like that. So, and ride height is a similar thing. They were adjusting their ride height. Of
yeah.
course, there was some speculation that was illegal. Then Red Bull started naming some speculation that it was legal. We don't know. It's a 50-50 chance between the both. That's why it's really, really controversy.
Yeah.
I remember Zach Brown saying basically what he was saying is that he's going to look into it, and he don't find it. He finds it suspicious, and I find it suspicious as well because
Yeah.
they didn't tell anyone all season. All of a sudden, the FI is finding it out now. All of a
Yeah. Yeah.
sudden, it's coming near past halfway of the season,
Yeah.
right? And all of a sudden, the FI is finding it now when it's towards the end of the season. So it is a bit fishy, but you know what the FI is like. It's a corrupt business. They can get rid of owner, but put
I
in
know.
a corrupt owner after. It's just the way it is. But my thoughts on it, I think it's suspicious. I think it should be looked at. I think there should be an investigation because that could help them. High ride height. If you get that ride height is really, really important for those cars. Because if it's too low, then you got the floor scraping off the tarmac, off the track,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
At that certain length, and it provides enough speed. So ride height is important in Formula One cars. I'm sure everyone knows that. Of course, if it's too low, the floor will get damaged,
If
and
you
the
have it,
floor.
yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right.
If it's too high, then there's not going to be enough speed producing through. So maybe in the middle of the race, Red Bull could have that problem with the floor being too low, so they could easily adjust it on the button. They say they don't adjust it on the button,
Mm.
but we don't know. We don't know what Red Bull has under that car. We don't know how many options they have under that car, right? So in my opinion, I think it's suspicious.
Yeah, I think it's suspicious as well. Zach Brown said he's not going to let this go. He's going to go a bit further, but we'll see how that goes. Obviously, Mercedes as well. They're not really happy about the situation. There was a lot of talk during the paddock. Jensen Button said, "Look, if they haven't got proof, what can they do? There's no point of really chasing it if they haven't got proof. Maybe they have got proof and we're not privy to see it. But we'll see what happens down the road. But look, at the end of the day, right, it's what it is. We know how Red Bull roll. Yeah, I'm not the biggest Red Bull fan. I think that they are cheaters. they've got away with a lot of stuff, and it's going to continue while he's still there. So we're going to get into the sprint qualifying. We're going to go straight into the sprint qualifying. We're going to talk about it briefly about the sprint qualifying. Soon as straight into Q1, Albon done a 180 spin. Should be on the dirt track, man. That was an amazing spin, man. Albon was spun 180 spin on the last corner where a lot of people came off as well. That last corner of just before you got on the DRS on the straight at the US Grand Prix, a lot of people were spinning there during the SQ1. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. At the end of Q1, SQ1, Leclerc, Hamilton, and Verstappen was on the top. So Ferrari early days showing their speed. What was your thoughts on Ferrari in the early practices? You could see they had something there.
Ferrari looked promising. They've been looking promising past races now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ferrari, how they've improved, it's amazing. It is amazing. You know, of course, I know we're talking about the sprint qualified now, but on about the race, how they got a 1-2.
Oh, we'll get to that in a minute.
But on about the sprint qualifying, how I thought about, you know, how Ferrari was all weekend. I thought they were good. They showed promise. I'm not really a man to watch practice a lot, but I did watch some of the practice. I did watch, I think, practice 3 it was, a bit of practice 3. And I saw Ferrari had that qualifying pace. They had that quality pace. Of course, practice 2 better do the quality, but some teams do, you know, practice 3 and on the race pace, race simulation, qualifying simulation. And, you know, Ferrari did look really, really good. They've improved. And, of course, they had that AWS map of saying how teams have improved.
Yeah.
I think Ferrari improved by 5 tenths. I think 5 tenths of a second, 0.5 tenths of a second. I think they've improved. So, yeah, I think Ferrari looked really, really promising.
Yeah.
In practice, in all through practice, of course, in the quality sims as well, they look really strong. But yeah, Ferrari looked really, really strong all weekend.
Yeah, they did. They looked really good all weekend. Yeah. So basically, in SQ2 Perez, we're going to talk about Perez now because in SQ2 Perez, it was out of the race. He was out, finished, gone. What was your thoughts on that in SQ2? He was out of the race, out of the qualifying, sprint qualifying. That's what I mean by SQ2, sprint qualifying 2. Perez was out. What was your thoughts on that?
About Perez going out?
Yeah, in SQ2, you know, sprint race qualifying 2. He went out in the second session. What was your thoughts on Perez again? Still struggling with the car, still finding his way.
I'm still going with the part that he could be sabotaged by the team. I've always stick to that. I will always stick to that. I remember I had a podcast with Ty Cuthbert on it. And, you know, sorry if the podcast is laid back because I'm really, really busy doing other stuff. But you understand as well. He's also busy as well. But I was on a podcast with Ty Cuthbert and we were talking about Perez because we split it into sections. I was talking about Perez and the Perez. I think Perez is getting sabotaged. And I think last year was his chance to win the title.
Yeah.
It was last year. This year was definitely his chance. Not definitely. I think last year was definitely his chance to win the title. But again, I think Red Bull has that thing that if you go to Red Bull, you're not winning no title.
No.
Because if it comes down to it, they will purposely slow down your car. And I think they're doing it to Perez as well. Because how come a Red Bull struggles to pass a Haas, for an example, or a RB behind Tsunoda? If Verstappen started 20th and Perez, say, started 6th, 7th, right? Verstappen's going to go ahead of him easily because he has the faster car.
Standard.
And, you know, it's simple as that. Look, Verstappen's the golden boy.
He always will be the golden boy.
He always will be the golden boy until he leaves that team or retires.
Which will be in a couple of years when he goes to Mercedes.
Yeah. So, you know, Perez, I don't blame him. In my opinion, I think he's driving that. He probably thought to himself he's going to win a title. And if you go to Red Bull and see that pace of the car, right, you expect to win a title or even be in the running for a title. right? And he went in the running for no title. He was always good at the beginning of the season. It's the same old flow with Perez. Same like last season. He's always good in the beginning of the season. But as soon as it comes to mid-season, when Perez gets a reality check, they're just going to tell him to stay behind Verstappen, and then will Perez slow down his car, and there's nothing Perez can do about it.
Nope, nothing he can do at all. This is why I think next season, I think Lawson's going to be in his seat. Lawson's is prime and ready to take. I'm not sure if he's ready, but he's taking Perez's seat. It's just the way it is. Perez knew what he was signing up for, as I see it, when he joined Red Bull. He knew when he went Red Bull that he wasn't going to be the main guy. Let's face it, that was the only option he had at the time when he left his team. The only option he had was Red Bull. That's the only team that was there, because all the other seats were full up. So when he went to Red Bull, he knew what he was signing up for. It's not like he never knew what he was signing up for. He knew that Max Verstappen was going to be the main driver. So we just got to accept it that he's Max Verstappen's bitch boy. It's just very simple. Very simple. So, SQ3 Hamilton came out first. He's qualifying at the end, and he was saying to his engineer, why did I come out first? Now, this is what really puzzles me. Hamilton, when he knows that something's not right, I don't understand why. He's not like Russell and says, you know what, I ain't coming out, I'm staying here. If Russell's in problems, if Russell's having a problem, Russell will come out and he'll say, look, if they say, why don't you pit now, Russell said, now I'm going to start a bit longer. The driver knows. So when Hamilton came on SQ3, he said, why am I coming out first? I'm not happy why I'm coming out. And effectively at the end, he didn't really get a good qualifying time. So what was your thoughts on that in SQ3 when Hamilton said, look, I'm coming out. Why am I coming out first? Because he got done, basically got a crap qualifying time because he got done by the yellow. Now, if he wouldn't have come out first, the yellow flag when it came up, he would have probably had a good time. It's because he came out first. When the yellow flag came out, that cost his time in SQ3.
I think with Lewis, that Mercedes is, I think any team he's doing to a driver that's on the way out, he's given the worst advantages possible. You know, because it's not like, it's usually who comes out first in qualifying is like the Williams, the Haas is the one who needs to get a time first on the board. But when you got teams like Mercedes, you don't usually see Mercedes come out first.
No.
Especially Lewis. Lewis likes to wait and wait. You know what Lewis is like. But him coming out first, it was really unusual. And again, I think Mercedes is just doing it on purpose, the same, you know, just go out first. But I'm going to agree with you, Solo. Why doesn't he make his own decisions? Exactly. He's on the way out anyway. Right? So why not just make your own decisions and go wild? Not actually go wild. But I'm saying that start being more of a, instead of being a teammate, be more of a showman. You know, because at this point, I don't think there's no team orders involved in Mercedes. Why would Lewis do team orders? Yeah. None of them are in the title running. They're not challenging constructors. Maybe top three. Mercedes could get third in the constructors. Could. When I say could, it's going to be a challenge because of course you got Ferrari, you got McLaren, you got Red Bull. There's a lot more teams in it for that third place. Oh yeah,
you did say that. I'm gonna take my hat off to you. I remember about 6 weeks ago I said to you the constructors is between Red Bull and McLaren, and you said nah, Ferrari as well. And I remember this is when Ferrari wasn't even doing that good. You said never write off Ferrari. I remember. Hats off to you on that one. I remember. You always said nah, Ferrari will come back, and then they came back, and look now they're in. It's a three-way fight now for the constructors.
I think Ferrari's just.
Imagine this. You say when the season finishes, Lando doesn't win the world title and McLaren don't win the flipping championship. That means they ain't done nothing. The losers. The losers. Red Bull, Max Verstappen will win the world title and Ferrari wins the constructors. McLaren are losers. That's it. Losers.
I've got to say, right, is that I don't think the championship's nowhere near over yet.
Nah, I think they're still in it, but he has to win everything now. We'll get to that at the end. But anyway, I know what you're saying. We'll get to that at the end. What we're going to do now, we're going to quickly go through the sprint race. This is the way it was. Max Verstappen was first. Second was Carlos Sainz. Lando Norris was third. Good recovery. And Charles Leclerc was fourth. And fifth was George Russell. Lewis Hamilton. We're gonna get into the race now. So the qualifying now. That's how the sprint race finished. Now we're talking about the qualifying, right? Basically, when it came onto the it says Theodore Kravitz says that they made quite a few changes in Hamilton's car and not many on George. So basically, what Theodore, Ted Kravitz, before qualifying, people were a bit suspicious why Hamilton's car was a little bit dodgy, why his pace fell off again. And Ted said he was right by Mercedes' garage, and he saw there was a lot of changes being made on Lewis's car, not so much on Russell's. So there's your red flag right there. So this is Q1. Lewis Hamilton come out in Q1. Again, problems with his car. He said he heard something clanking around in his car, and all of a sudden Lewis was out in Q1. Out. So Lewis Hamilton out in Q1. His car was terrible. Again, he started off on a good weekend. His car looks good, and when he gets to them qualifying, where it matters, his car's gone. So what was your thoughts on it? Because Ted was saying there was making so many changes on his car between the sprint session and qualifying session. What's your thoughts on this, Toto? Because I really want to hear your thoughts on this. It's a little bit suspicious now that things like this are happening. I know you're going to get some social justice warriors are going to come out and say, oh, nothing is just the way it is. No, it ain't the way it is. Obviously, there's something going wrong.
Talking about Lewis now?
Yeah, his car, Q1. He went out in Q1. Gone, finished.
I had no words to say. I'm at this point that I don't really care about, about where Lewis finishes. Of course, I care about Lewis finishes. He's my favourite driver, right?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I know for a fact that I know Lewis knows as well, deep down, that he wants to get out of that team. He wants to get out of that team, go to Ferrari, and have new beginnings.
Yeah.
Because that team now, it's such a business-based team. You know what Toto's like? It's business. It's business with him, right? And it's understandable when a driver's on the way out. Yeah, they give him the worst possible car, the worst upgrades, because Russell's getting all the latest upgrades. Because how come? Yeah, from the beginning of the season where Lewis was up there with Russell, now all of a sudden when it comes towards the end of the season, his car is downgrading and downgrading. And no way Russell is that much quicker than Lewis. Come on, let's face it. He's not that much quicker than Lewis.
I think regarding qualifying, it depends on the track specific. But with this track, this is one of Lewis Hamilton's babies. Now, Lewis Hamilton, I think he's got like 7 poles here. So this is one of his babies. He's won it so many times at this track. This specific track. There's definitely... Look, at the end of the day, he's only 6 races to go now. 5 or 6 races to go. I bet he can't wait to leave. He's got no words. He's not going to come out and out the team because Lewis has got more class than that. And they know this as well. They know that he's not going to come out and say nothing because he's got class. And this is why sometimes when you're too nice, people can walk over you.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. So let's go straight into Q2. Q2 and Lando's engineer said, look, Lando said to his engineer, he says, the car's feeling good. We got word from the pit lane. We got word from the engineers that they lowered Lando Norris's car from practice to Q2. So that's a good thing. So obviously you could see that the pace that wasn't there in the previous sessions was there now for Lando Norris. And at the end of Q3, Lando Norris got the pole. And Max Stafford comes second. And Charles Leclerc come third. So that's set up for a good race. So what was your thoughts on Lando getting qualifying? Because in SQ1 and that, he was terrible. But in qualifying, where it mattered, he was good.
Yeah, Lando's redeemed himself after that sprint race. After Max won the sprint race, and he did lose a lot of points. In 3 points, he lost to Max in that race. So it was vital for him to get on the front row.
Yeah.
But what I was thinking in my other mind, I was thinking that he's gonna battle the start because every single time when Lando, he rarely gets a good start. Rarely. If he does, it's on a good day, but rarely gets a good start. Right? And if he does get a good start, he loses position at the start. So of course you can get a good getaway, but that's not the overall start. The overall start is from turns 1 and 2 and back onto the straight. If it's a straight corner. Turns 1 and 2, 3, 4, whatever. If you clear all the carnage, clear all the battles, that's the start done, right? Lando always bottles that start, and it's this kind of track as well. The width of that straight is absolutely amazing. You could dive bomb from anywhere you like to, really.
Yeah.
Anywhere you like to. The thing is with that, yeah, when you go too tight around the corner, that's where the wider line is more preferable and more quicker on that first corner, right? So if you do go for a dive bomb and go really, really, really tight, you might lose out on that corner exit. But
Yeah.
really good for overtaking. Really, really, really good. So for this track, the wider line's always the most preferable route. But on to Lando. I thought he was going to bottle the start.
Now I'm talking about the qual. I'm getting onto the race in a minute.
Qualifying.
It's good. It's good how his speed, his times improved from the sprint qualifying to the normal qualifying because they lowered the car and he didn't have in the S qualifying. He didn't have confidence in the car. Well, you know as a driver yourself, if you haven't got confidence in your car, you ain't getting no good lap times. But they adjusted the car, they adjusted it, and then when it came to qualifying where it matters, the car was there, and that's why he got pole. So let's go straight into the race. You had Lando on pole, second Max Verstappen, third Charles Leclerc. What do you think happened to Lando again? I'll let you go. Go.
He bottled the start again.
Yeah.
Last position. And he was, I just don't get it. He's losing even more points, right? And can I talk about Lando now?
Yeah, Lando went from first to fourth, by the way. He bottled that start because he wasn't aggressive enough. You know, as a driver, when it comes to the start, you've got to be aggressive. You have to be fair, but aggressive.
When you're first place, yeah, you've got to cover that inside line. You have to. And with this track, it's understandable to go through the middle because the inside line is really, really, really tight and that can lose you a lot of speed, yeah? Or maybe some late braking has to be done.
Yeah.
But I think he should have positioned his car more around the outside, maybe.
Or no, I don't know, for the inside. I prefer the inside on his track.
It's middle or inside, right? Because inside you're going tight, which you're going to lose your speed. But if you go through the middle, it's a perfect balance. But Lando's just, he was shook. One went past him.
He's got to work on them starts, man.
And then he went wide. Them starts are going, he should have been ahead of Max all race. All races should have been ahead of Max, right? They got the strategy right throughout the whole race. But that race, he should have been ahead of Max, right? And again, he did do a good job of catching up to Max. And Max put up a good fight, right? But then Lando went past Max. But the thing is, to me, I don't think there was nothing in it. I think, they both collided. Lando had nowhere to go, right? That's my opinion about it.
Yeah.
Of course, some people are probably arguing me saying that, Lando Norris weren't ahead, right? But Verstappen did give him no space whatsoever. So he had to take the runoff area, right? So I think that cancels that out. I think it should have been a racing incident. That's in my opinion. I think it should have been a racing incident. If not, a max penalty. But I think it was a racing incident. That's in my opinion, right? But they know what their FIA is like. They'll give any advantage to Max, wherever possible. What the team should have said to Lando is let Max go, right? Maybe on the corner.
No, you got too far. I'm still on the. I'm on lap 3.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll get to that. I know what you're saying now. Lap 3, Lewis is out of the race. I was thinking, what are you talking about, man? I'm looking at my notes here. I thought, hold on. Anyway, lap 3, Lewis was out. Bad again. They asked Toto after the race, why did Lewis go out? What's wrong with Lewis's car? Is it Lewis's fault? And he goes, no, it's our fault because the car's not good because he was struggling. And he went out, in the same corner where Russell went out in practice. Exactly the same corner. The same corner where Russell went out. So, obviously, the car had steering problems. I bet Lewis just can't... I think with Mercedes, he's been up and down all season. Car's been good, then it goes down again. Anyway, so Lewis is out. Lap 5, safety car ends. That was because of the Lewis Hamilton incident. So the safety car was out there for 2 laps. Lap 13, Plan A, ambitious. They was talking to Oscar Piastri. Oscar Piastri said, they said, what you think? And he goes, lap 13, and he goes, ambitious. So obviously they was going for a one-stop McLaren because they stayed on their tyres a lot longer than the other ones. I think when Lando Norris, when he got to mid-race, Carlos Sainz was on his hard tyres 10 laps longer than, when he put his fresh tyres on, his tyres were 10 laps older than Lando Norris. So the way the car was balanced, like I said at the beginning of the race, the balance was perfect because that when you got a good balance to your car, that can determine with the tyres as well. If your balance is off, obviously it's going to grain the tyres a bit more. With McLaren's car, it was perfect car, but it's still, for me, during the race, it looked like it was lacking a bit of speed. The speed's not there as it was before the 4 weeks. So, lap 23, the team said, look, just extend. He said to McLaren, he said, extend the stint because your tyre deck is good compared to everybody else. So that's what it was. So Max made a mistake keeping out too long. He was lap 26. He made a little mistake. Charles pitted at lap 27. Gasly got a black and white flag for track limits. I think there's 3 track limits and then you got a black and white flag. So that was Gasly. I don't think he actually cares. I think Gasly can't wait till the season finish. But a horrendous season by him. And I know it's not his fault, but it was an horrendous season. So we had the big shootout at the end. Charles Leclerc was well away. He was gone. And Sainz was catchable, in my opinion, if Lando would have passed Max a little bit earlier. But it never worked out. So you had Max Verstappen. We had Lando Norris shootout. He was going to get ahead. Lando Norris chased him down like the doggy he's. No, not saying. But he chased him down, Lando Norris. And what was you think of this situation when you saw him gaining total? I was thinking, look, I know he's going to get him, but it's how he passes him because you know what Max is like. He doesn't make it easy. He doesn't make it easy.
I was thinking that, he's gaining on him, but Verstappen's not going to put up without a fight. You know what I'm saying? And you know what Max is like in them battles? He's hard and aggressive, right? And he can be unfair.
Can be unfair. Okay, that's an understatement. He's unfair.
He is, because of what happened, between him and Lewis. I
know. That's why.
He is unfair at sometimes. In battles. And for me, I think he pushed him off. No space. Where was the space for Lando? Lando went round the outside. He was entitled to the outside line, right? They should be side by side going into the next corner because Lando had that amazing exit around the outside, but Verstappen closed the door on him, and Lando had no space. So that cancelled it out, yeah. So, but you can't do something for the judges not to score, or if you want to say it in Formula One terms, give something that the FIA not to. Just give something that the FIA can't really investigate on.
Yeah.
Right? So, So, I just think that there should have been a racing incident. And I think him going off to the runoff area, I think it cancelled out the whole situation between, Lando going off and taking advantage because I think Verstappen gave him no space whatsoever. So Lando couldn't do nothing about that. If I was Lando and if I was the McLaren team, if McLaren team had brains, right, I'll go to tell Lando on the radio, let him go. Don't matter if it's fair or unfair, just let him go because that cancels out everything then. And then he potentially nearly got done for moving on the braking, and he was lucky not to get a 10-second penalty because that would have been even more in trouble.
Yeah, you're right.
He would have lucky. He's so lucky to not get 2 5-second
I don't think he deserved the penalty. I think Lando done what he had to do. And I think the situation, and Lando still stands by, he said it this morning, he tweeted about it, he sent a message out. He goes, what I did yesterday, I done nothing wrong, I can't see a problem. They both went off the track. At the end of the day, they both, so how do you police that situation? How do you police it? When they both go off the track, I think when it went into the first corner, they were, Lando was slightly ahead, and then they went off track. So, and when they went off track, Max got ahead while they was off track. So where does that rule cook in? If they're both off the circuit, if both cars go off at the same time, yeah, and they're both in similar positions at the front, and Max gets ahead of Lando gets ahead, well, they're both off the track. Where's that rule that he can't do that? Because where was Lando supposed to go? There was a space there, and he went there, and Max Verstappen pushed him off. In my opinion, Max Verstappen pushed him off, and I knew that at that time, I knew what Lando did was the right thing, but I knew they was going to give him a penalty, because we all know when it comes to the FIA, when it comes to Lando Norris, when it comes to Max Verstappen, they always favour Max Verstappen. We know how there was with Lewis in 2021 when he forced him off the track in Brazil, and he never got nothing. And I knew it was going to be the same with Lando Norris, because they do it for Max. They want Max to win everything. That's all it is. That's a fact. Everybody knows this, and this is why Red Bull's got no credibility. We know this, and in my opinion, Lando Norris shouldn't have got a penalty. But like you said he should have gave the spot back. But if you feel like you've done nothing wrong, why would you give the spot back?
Yeah, but
Think about it.
I'm saying it from like a logic point of view. That
Yeah, but they don't think that out sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Red Bull, look, if you're a team principal of a major team like McLaren, right, and you feel like you ain't done nothing wrong, yeah, why would you give the spot back?
Yeah.
I know what you're saying though. In the logical one, you could like gave him the spot back, and then you could then he had 4 laps left that he could catch him in it. But
and he could have.
Yeah, he should have, could have.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, what's your thoughts on it? So, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah, Lando shouldn't have got a penalty. I think he should have went away scot-free.
Yeah.
But if our team principal, and I saw the history of FIA,
yeah,
with Max and Red Bull, I would let position go. Just take the smart route, take the safe route, because you're in a championship decider now.
Yeah.
And you can't afford no penalties. You can't afford no grid drops, right? So, I know what you're saying, Solo, about, if you don't think you're wrong, yeah, why admit it? Why, let the position go? Yeah. But I'm saying from, like, if you see the history of the FIA, I'll be letting the position go. Any slight bit of, you redone unsafe manner, you redone the braking.
Regarding Max, innit?
You went off the track. I want to go regarding Max as well. That Max did force him off the track, but again, he didn't get investigated for any of that. And plus, the first corner as well, that incident in the first corner didn't get picked up for any of that. Not even noted. It's not even been noted. It wasn't even noted. So yeah, if I was in that position, I would let the position go. Even though I did nothing wrong, I would let the position go just to give them FIA not a chance to investigate. Because you know what they're like. They investigate something. You know Lando's getting the penalty. They're gonna
that's what I said. It's coming.
Yeah.
But you know what I think they should have done? What would have resolved it all? The FIA should have radioed into the team principal and says he has to give the spot back. That's what the FIA should have done. The stewards, they should have said to the McLaren, Lando has to give the spot back, because they usually do that, and then the engineer tells the driver, you've got to give the spot back. You get me? That's what they should have done. But there was silence when he passed Max Verstappen. Yeah, when they went off the track, there was nothing. There was no feedback from McLaren. No feedback from the stewards. The stewards should have said, McLaren, you've got to give the spot back, because they usually do that, don't they, Toto?
Yeah.
And that would have resolved it all. But it is what it is. Look, at the end of the day, Charles won the race. Second was Sainz, third was Max Verstappen, and fourth was Lando Norris. So let's have a look at the points. The driving standing. Max Verstappen on top, 354. Lando Norris, 297. So he's lost a few points, but it's still salvageable. The good news for McLaren is that Ferrari are getting faster. So maybe they can be the team that can get in between the McLaren and the Red Bull to try and give McLaren them extra points, maybe, because Ferrari are in the mix now, so they could try and disturb Red Bull as well. That might help out McLaren. It's not just 1 and 2 now. There's other teams that can get in between them, and hopefully all Lando Norris has got to do in McLaren is get in the next race in Mexico. I think he was on the podium last year. He's getting there and do your best and try and get in, but you need that little gap. You need 1 or 2 drivers between Max Verstappen and Lando Norris going forward. That's what we need, and hopefully Ferrari can be that team to do it, because hopefully, you know what Ferrari's like, they might be good here now, and then the next race they don't do nothing. So hopefully Ferrari can start doing something as well. So that's it, man. That was the end of the weekend, the race review. We got the debrief coming up tomorrow. I'm going to do 3 debriefs recorded 10-minute back-to-back, and that'll be it finished. So the audio podcast people, look out for the debrief. It's coming tomorrow. I've put all the ones up on YouTube now. We've just got 3 left. I'm going to record 3 back-to-back. First one will be about 8 minutes. Second one will be 8 minutes. And the last one, this one will be 10 minutes. And that'll be the debrief. Finished, done. So, Toto, anything coming up, bro?
No, nothing coming up. Just say I got the F1 League on Sunday. If it is on, since, you know, the F Formula 1 and all that's on, it's a triple header.
Yeah.
So maybe that's on or not. But yeah, that's basically what's coming up.
Oh, yeah, we got the... what I'm going to do, right, I'll try and do like a debrief later on my Todd. And then tomorrow we can just do the 2. We'll do that, right? I'll do one tonight, and I'll do one. But basically, that's what we're doing. And tomorrow, obviously, we've got the play lineup. Champions League, Liverpool Wednesday, easy play lineup. We'll be doing that on OBS as well. So we've got the map nice and easy. And that's it, Toto. That's what. Have a good one, man. See you tomorrow, bro. Hopefully. By the way, this is streaming on your channel as well. Got views just checked.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going on your channel because it's Formula 1 stuff. So we'll get it on your channel as well. So that's it, man. We're heading off. Anything left to say?
No, nothing else.
Sure, bro. You all right? You all right?
Yeah.
All right. See you later, guys. Big up. See you soon. Bye.
Yeah.
On the brakes, Leclerc